Hey everyone, Dr. Clint Steele here with Leading Edge Chiropractic. Hope you're having a great day. I just wanted to touch base with you on a couple things. Number one, the three causes of nerve interference we talk about a lot, the three T's, toxins being one, trauma being one, and then thoughts being one. Um, a lot of people don't give enough credence, I think, to your thought world and your the stresses and the things that concern you from a mental standpoint and how that can affect your physical health. Just to give you an idea real quick, I've been doing this for 23 years and I used to think it was hokey, that thoughts can create physical problems, but I can guarantee you after 23 years that is the case. And there's a lot of people that are out there that have done research on this, the whole thing. But just to give you an example, my hip started hurting me a couple weeks ago severely to the point where I couldn't sleep. I was having a hard time walking. And my thought process or my worries or my stresses during that time were things that I have coming down the pike in the next year or so. And so my thoughts were on that, kind of how to take the next step and kind of where to go. And I knew from my experience that thought process, the stresses of taking that next step affect your feet and affect your hip. And so not only was my foot affected, but also my hip was affected. And so I had to come to grips with those thoughts and share them and express them. And so you can do that via journaling if you want. You can do that if you have someone in your life that you can share your deep feelings with or your deep thoughts with. Or if you have a good counselor, sometimes they can draw some of that stuff out of you, but that's something that needs to be dealt with. What I find and what I found over the 23 years is women usually experience stress up in their trap area, in their shoulder area, and their neck. They feel like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders, if you will. And that's true with most women. Most women are taking care of their families. They feel like they have the weight of the world on them, and they don't take enough time for themselves. And men, usually it has to do with low back, and that's usually where it goes. Again, everything's different. If you're worried about something in the future, a lot of times that's going to affect your feet or your hips. But enough about that subject. I just wanted to express that to you, let you know that, again, I can adjust you all you want. I can adjust you regularly. We can correct the postural distortions. We can remove the nerve interference. But if you turn around the next day and then 24 hours of worried about the next 48 hours and the next 72 hours, you're just undoing what I just did. So part of my job is to not only correct subluxations or remove nerve interference, but help educate you on the causes of nerve interference so that you can diminish those as much as possible. And so that's part of that. And so I want to share that with you, number one. Number two, I want to also share with you a program we're doing on Facebook Live. If you guys are around on Tuesdays at noon, we're doing Facebook Live videos, Dr. Ben and myself. Right now we're doing a series on chiropractic myths. And so the next myth that we're going to talk about are chiropractors real doctors. And so that's kind of a myth that people think, yeah, well, he's not a real doctor, or she's not a real doctor. But so we're going to address that. So I'll touch on this in the next week on Tuesdays at noon. If you can't catch that, it replays as well. You can go to our Facebook page and catch that. It's usually about 10-15 minutes. And then what I'll do is, as well, is I'll touch each week on this video that I send out via text and catch you up and bring you up to speed on that. So hope you guys have a great weekend. It's Dr. Clint Steele. I'll talk to you soon.